as I continue to go on, and I've started to give people this kind of, not advice, but testimony, I guess it would more be, is when you're starting to build that relationship and you're praying more and you're focused on your goals and things are, you've got your getting your house in order, so to speak, and getting yourself aligned. um, God is going to show you very quickly what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. He's going to put the right people in your path, and you have to. That's where the faith part comes in. I think it's be willing to have the conversations and take the time to get to know people, and the right people will be there and the wrong people will be removed. And don't question that part either, um, which sometimes it's hard to do. So uh, and just kind of in line with that, I had some really interesting and fun and productive conversations that I think will definitely lead to more collaborations and bigger things, and you know like-minded people coming together. And one of those was talking to Damon Galdo from uh, running for Congress in CD1. Uh, Great guy, great story. Uh, Thinks very much like me. When I kind of get a plan together and I think about what I'm going to do and kind of put pieces together, I go very in depth. I have details, and he was talking about an idea that he has, which is a great idea that will benefit all of us conservatives here in New Jersey, um, which I'm sure we'll talk about. And I was talking about Men of Action and the plan with that, and it was just cool to hear from another conservative in my area who is just as forward thinking and excited and detail oriented as I am. And he's got, like I said, the Jersey Shore podcast, and he's got um, the network there with a bunch of different podcasts. And, so things are on the way. A lot of details to be worked out and conversations to be had. So nothing official or anything like that, but um, he gave me like an hour of his time, and we chopped it up for about a lot of different stuff. So it was a good one. Also, uh, I sent a DM. I think it was the week prior, or it might have been the same week. But I reached out to the state assemblyman, Paul Ganitra, and he called me back. Well, he called me. I gave him my number and said, "What what's it take to have a conversation?" He gave me a lot of great advice. Straight shooter, very genuine, and everything that you kind of get with his videos, and the interview that he did with Mike from Wake Up New Jersey is just, it's not a facade. That's who he really is. So um, it's good to know that there's a lot of genuine and good people in the conservative movement in New Jersey. Because I think we kind of get a bad rep from some of the things that have gone on throughout the years, and hopefully we put all that to the side. And I, for one, I'm here to unite with everyone and really get to work as we come up on midterms, and hopefully we can get both Damon and Jason Cullen in office through the election season, culminating in November. So that's the goal. That's what we're set on. Things are right on track. I mean, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I'll get into that in a later segment here. So exciting stuff there. And then Nick with the New Jersey Project continues to just be a huge blessing for me, and really more than anyone else it has given me opportunities and connected me with people. And for I haven't done anything for her, so I appreciate it more than I can convey. So hopefully I can do well, and represent the New Jersey project, to the standard. And I'm excited to officially be a part of the New Jersey project. Um, I think it's a great movement, and it was started on the basis around COVID, and how parental rights are taken away, and our rights in general. Um, and I'm gonna stick up for that. I've always have, and it's great to have a platform that already has eyeballs on it, that can get my views out there, and hopefully it resonates with people, and it already has, with the article that I wrote for the Chaos and Control Substack, which is affiliated with the New Jersey Project. And I wrote it on the vaccine standards or mandates that New Jersey has decided to no longer follow the CDC, which is incredible. And I just tied it all into the hypocrisy, and the lies, and the deceit, and the you know um, intellectual, um, how do I say that? They just have been very calculated in the way that they have set everything up. And it's just a microcosm of the Democrat Party. And we'll get into that as we get into the stuff in Minneapolis. But um, it's very interesting how they put it together, and how they try to justify it, when during COVID, if you weren't going with the CDC recommendation, then you were the problem. You were literally killing people. And now I'm killing people because I support ICE, and killing people because I believe in God and I'm a conservative. Um, it's just hypocrisy, and it needs to be called out. And that's one thing that the New Jersey Project, Wake Up New Jersey, NJ Teacher, all the kind of big accounts, that you can really see them all focusing on calling out all of the Democrats' lies, deceit, confusion, chaos that they are putting out. And it's right in front of our faces. So we're gonna call it out. We're gonna call it out. You know, until we get some change in there, and that change will come with a you know uh, strong midterms. We flip some seats, CD3, CD1. Um, there's a bunch of other races out there. I think 11. The special election is coming up. I think Hathaway is running for that. Don't know too much about that, but we do have like a some things in the works as far as a united front. So you'll hear more about that. Okay, let's um, let's get into the first topic. So the first thing I wanted to talk about this week will be, we're going to get into the Mikey Sherrill just complete and utter lie. She said, I'm going to freeze electricity rates. Well, first of all, freezing them at the highest they've ever been so they can't move, that in itself, she didn't say, I'm going to freeze them, but they can come down. She just said, I'm going to freeze them. So that didn't make sense to me at first. And that's what kind of tipped me off. And then I saw a Wake Up New Jersey post about how it was going to be fugazi. It wasn't going to be what she said it was. She's saying, I'm making a historic change and I'm signing executive orders on day one. And she's got the blue suit on and her hair done, and she's in Newark and she's holding up these uh, executive orders, and it's a zoomed out picture, and it's this big event. Should really read the executive order, because the language that's in there does in no way states a mandate, a legality that they can't raise rates. It doesn't say any of that. It's a suggestion within legal terms or bounds to maybe look at freezing or bringing down prices. That's what it says. So I'll just let you sit with that for a second. All this hype was made up about how she's making a change, and that right there shows you that Jack should have won the election. If she's saying that there needs to be this major change, but she's also saying that Phil Murphy I think she gave him a B. I mean, it just